I was traveling south on Route 395. The snow-capped Sierras were on the passenger side. I had a couple of downy goshawk chicks in a tub in the front seat. Well, a roadkill jack from a few hours back out there, little crops fuller than a hiker's backpack. They were dogpiled together in the sun, fast asleep. After seeing them little chicks stuff their crops, I got a little hungry myself, and I thought I might stop at Mad Dog's of Bishop for a steak quesadilla or two. Rudy Madera had his lunch truck out on the street. He was whipping them up and sending them out. It smelled like heaven out there in the high desert air. Well, there was a crowd of folks lined up for lunch. I guess I wasn't the only one who drank the punch. He had half the town out there like me, hooked on his gourmet creations. I really didn't want to wait that long for my food, so I hollered over their heads at the risk of being rude. "Hey, Rudy, I'll have the usual. Better make it two." Well, I heard a grumble from the hungry crowd, and I knew right then I shouldn't have yelled that loud, and even Ruby's wife glared at me from the lunch truck door. I faked a laugh. I said, "I'm fine. I'll wait like you good folks standing in line. We're all in this together. I just thought I'd lighten the mood a bit." They all slowly turned back around with a grumble, so I sat down on a bench and tried to look humble, stomach growling and wishing I'd kept my big mouth shut. If I'd have sat back down on the driver's side, lunch in my lap, paper cup, soda suicide, ready to partake in Bishop's finest cuisine. I was stuffing my sunburned face like a pig when I noticed parked next to me a 4-screen rig with a big decal that read California Department of Fish and Game. On the way up here, my friend texted me to tell that he had jokingly put a CHC sticker on my shell and that I should probably peel it off before I go pulling goshawks. 2 uniformed dudes stepped out of line with their food in their hands and badges shine. They had cowboy hats on and were headed back to their green truck. They came strolling up from behind, licking their chops, and from my rear view, I see one of them stops and looks at the sticker that says California Hawking Club. Well, he calls to his partner and points to the sticker, and the other guy looks at it, shakes his head, and snickers, and I overhear him say, "Well, he must be up to no good." I felt 2 feet tall, sunk down in my seat. I couldn't even think about the delicious eats that I waited in line 30 minutes in the blazing sun to get. I could see their mood go from hungry to suspicious. Despite their lunch and it smelled so delicious, they started acting fidgety and scrutinizing my truck. They started peeking in the side and peeking in the back. I almost forgot about that half-butcher jack that I used to feed those little goshawk chicks from before. Well, if it was a regular cop, I wouldn't care. But as you know, game wardens have a hair up their asses for falconers that no one can quite explain. Now, I shouldn't have been nervous because I was totally legit. I had every form, license, and state permit that I would need to take them little birds totally legal-like. Now, in a minute or two, the questions would be flying, and I'm not a big fan of being accused of lying, so I slunked out the truck and crawled away on all fours. I rubbed some dirt on my face and some more on my hands, trying to disguise myself as a homeless man. I kicked my shoes off and laid down against the wall on the floor. When they rounded the front and looking for the driver, they'd see this bum there, wonder if he's alive or just sleeping off the cheap wine from the night before. Well, they turned their attention again to my truck, and I thought real quick, and I yelled, "Hey, what the fuck? Get out of my house, you goddamn gypsy squatters!" Yelling senseless phrases to cause a distraction, calling them fish pigs just for a little satisfaction. I just didn't want them to see them baby birds in the tub. I stood up to them and tried to look crazy. I had one eye crossed and the other one lazy, trying to create the biggest commotion that I could. Well, I noticed a beekeeper flatbed was parked to the side. It had hive crates stacked 4 high and 5 wide, and the driver had just jumped in and shut the door. He had finished backing out and was putting it in drive when I jumped up and tipped over 3 or more hives onto the asphalt right there on the parking lot floor. Well, the hive split open and there was a terrible noise, and I yelled, "Killer bees, run for it, boys!" And chaos erupted in the quiet town of Bishop that day. In every direction, the people did scatter, and I yelled through the noise, "Bees' lives matter!" And I jumped in my truck and fired that mother up. Well, I peeled off backwards through the lot full of bees. I see one of them fish cops down on his knees, and he's screaming, "I'm allergic to bees. Where's my EpiPen?" I reckon I didn't want to see them again for sure, so I tossed a couple of hive trays through the open door of their truck, ensuring that the environment was not warden-friendly. Well, I was getting stung, but I didn't care. I had bees in my shirt and bees in my hair. I was tearing down 395 at a pretty good clip. Well, the birds were safe in the tub under a towel. I pulled over in time to hear a coyote howl. It was dark by then, and I was feeling like I had finally escaped. Well, I couldn't wait to get home to tell my story, but I couldn't quite shake the feeling of worry that there might be a roadblock or something between here and there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna reroute my trip. I wonder if anybody think I'd flipped if I went to L.A. via Tonopah.